Hey everyone, today we're about to unveil a secret. Chalmer is about to be unemployed. And he just got hired by a theatre in the Boston. Doug thinks such talent shouldn't be wasted, so Chalmer became a theatre actor, and Doug became his biggest fan. Subtitles: Chalmer transformed from an unknown actor into a Broadway superstar. That day, Doug finally mustered the courage to see him. While the thunderous applause echoed, he wanted to stand up and cheer. Unfortunately, his legs seemed stuck, leaving him cornered. Luckily, he met Chalmer. Chalmer recognized Doug right away, excited like a kid, eager to know how he's been. Doug studied in college, and finally pulled out that scrapbook, which moved Chalmer to tears. Chalmer was left speechless and wanted to kiss Doug, but just then, a guy barged in. Turns out, this guy is Chalmer's new husband and the director of the play, and Chalmer is expecting his child. Doug's pride shattered like glass, his mouth twitching as he fought back the humiliation. Back at the dog shelter, he felt like an idiot for believing a goddess could fall for a guy in a wheelchair. He grabbed at his thighs, forcing them to stand up, yelling his head off. Eventually, he exhausted himself and collapsed, realizing that only dogs could truly love him. That night, Doug had a transformation, but soon after a government notice hit him like a ton of bricks. The shelter was closing due to budget cuts, but really, it was all just a game to sell the land to developers. The dogs would soon be forced to relocate. Doug quietly agreed, but felt a mix of emotions. When that day came, all the dogs had disappeared, leaving him with the perfect, deserted building, free from human interference. But the problem was he needed a job to support them, and finally, that day arrived. He accidentally stumbled upon a drag club, watching the performers rehearse, and felt an unprecedented sense of belonging. "So you're an actor?" "I totally know all of Shakespeare's works." "Oh, no, this is a drama." Doug probably started to get the picture. "If you can perform Shakespeare, you can perform anything. I also know the entire tongue twister routine. I have a few tricks up my sleeve. I can totally put on a show. But you should know, people come here for the fun, not to watch you wear pants." Leaving his wheelchair aside, Doug stood up with encouragement, and the boss gave him a chance. At night, Doug made his debut in drag, astounding the crowd with his angelic voice. Doctors couldn't help but wonder, can this job really support all those dogs? The answer is, of course not, but Doug had another trick up his sleeve. He found out that the dogs could understand every command he gave them and were absolutely obedient. So, he started using this ability to remotely command dogs to rob rich people's houses. It felt like a movie plot. The whole operation went off without a hitch until a few months ago. The insurance company started investigating, but all the footage showed no suspicious characters. But the frequent appearances of stray dogs raised suspicions, leading to some discoveries. Therefore, he had to confirm in person. After Doug's performance that night, the insurance agent approached him, pretending Doug was cautious and didn't agree right away, so the agent secretly followed him. The agent pulled out a gun and entered the premises, finding a Doberman at the door. Doug sensed something was off and chose to open the door to protect the dogs. The dog didn't admit anything. The agent was pretty sure, and in a moment of excitement, he fired a shot. Dove could only admit that everything was in the safe, and the agent retrieved the jewels. But before leaving, Doug shockingly invited him for dinner, and to his surprise, he agreed. Facing a guy in a wheelchair, the agent clearly thought there was no threat. Everything seemed harmless. That sound was like an attack signal, but Doug calmly recounted the major crime. The doctor said Doug might face the death penalty, but he didn't care. If this was to be his last experience, so be it. Evelyn reminded him, though, that everyone has the freedom to choose. The decision is in one's own hands. Doug's death sentence is his own choice, and it's this free will that gives him strength and courage. Doug's free will is manifesting now, enabling him to feel all the highs and lows, struggles and laughter. You can choose to run or fall, laugh or struggle. That's true freedom. It's entirely your decision, and that's what we call free will. The essence of God and sword lies in this. Then Doug began to recount the story from the night before when a group of people invaded his territory. It was those gangsters. The gangster boss was interrogating a young guy who finally led him to Doug's hideout, and at that moment, Doug was dressed as Marilyn Monroe.